All right, hi guys. So, hold on a second. Hold on. First of all, hopefully you can hear me. Is it all right? Let me know. I've created a new emoji for the members. I've created the audio demon emoji just in case things are shit as usual. I know what it is, right? I think it is something to do with the software that's on StreamYards, as well as maybe like my laptop not being good enough. Because every time I do a screen share, my Dutch coming through that. Every time I do a screen share for like the intro you just saw, it like for some reason it doesn't always pick up the audio, and I have to like unplug things or I have to play through different media players. So I'm not too sure what that's all about, but I'm also back to using this microphone because I feel like it's working better, and I've unplugged some of my USB things, so maybe that's going to work better. To wait and see. I had fun in silence. So it's fair. I had silence until after the credits. Oh, really? You didn't. What was the intro? Did you not hear the music when I played the intro? Don't tell me there was music on on the credits. Was it not audio for the credits? Don't tell me. Ah, I'll have to have a look in a second. So, Kara said she's going to be asleep, but hello. Bokana is here while listening to the workout. Hextra workaholic present as usual. Like the live stream, please do, please do. Alicia, I made it for work. So yeah, I did create a new emoji for the members. I'm also using the built-in camera as opposed to my other camera. Made a new emoji in case the audio goes whack, because at this point it's just a joke, so I might as well just laugh at it, right? Alicia's listening. Suzanne Dunkel, Kimberly DeVito, Kat Nicole, Susanna P, Athera, Amanda Lagerfeld, Teresa Stolpa, Gosia, MW, Diary of a Recovering Fatty. Such a fun name. Griff Gang member not on the list. Taste test collab with ALR when? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I should be encouraging her to do taste tests, to be honest. Unless it's like healthy food, but otherwise I wouldn't encourage her to like be eating food she shouldn't. Greetings from South Africa. This sounds good. Danny Bryan, for all of you confirming the audio is okay. No music. The intro was silent. I don't understand. I literally don't understand why. Why is this? There is music on there, I can assure you. I heard it in my earphones. I did the audio, the share screen thing with audio here. Hold on, let me try again. Let me try a different one. Let me just video file. Because if I try to add a video file, it doesn't like it at all. It's so fucking annoying. Like really. Oh, I shouldn't be swearing so soon. Grandson, hello from Newbury. Oh my god, that's a long time, isn't it, Newbury? Vodafone gang gang. Oh man, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. If you're from Newbury, you definitely know. So let me just try and see if I can do this again, and if it picks it up. If I do the window, maybe media player. Okay. Is it doing audio now? Can you hear this? Okay. I won't play the this one I'm looking at. I won't play the whole intro again. But did you guys hear that audio? Please tell me you can hear that. What the motherfucker? How can it not have music? This is so super annoying. Okay, let me try and share AmberLynn Reid. That is so weird. Audio demons. This is an appropriate meme. This is an appropriate moment for the new emoji, audio demon. I literally don't understand why that is. I don't understand. I'm sharing my screen. All right, window to share audio, share tab or screen instead. Ah, oh, hold on. Let's try it now because it was saying. Oh no, this was my fault. I was being stupid. Oh, me oh my. Rodeston Rada became a member. Thank you for becoming a member. Right, let's try this one here. Hold on. Let me just get it open. The output here. One of these days, I'll have an intro and it works, and everything will be working straight away from the beginning. So let's open this up. 1 second. See, like I don't even hear it through I need to play through a different thing. Hold on. Let me open it up with media player as opposed to the VC. 1 second. Okay, so I can hear. Okay, hold on. Share system audio. So you might hold on. I have to be quiet. Did you hear that? Excellent lighting. I literally, it's just sunlight. That's it. Jesus Christ. I shouldn't be taking the Lord's name in vain. God bless instead. God bless instead, right? There we go. My word. I figured it out in the end. We got there. All right. So stop sharing this. Anyway. Oh, what a nightmare. We kind of got there in the end. So thank you for confirming. I appreciate it. So this is why I figured I'll start a little bit early because well, technical difficulties is part of my channel, right? Who would I be if it wasn't if it wasn't for audio problems and technical difficulties? So uh need a good audio emoji. No, but that won't be funny though. Audio demon, don't worry. Don't worry, it's me. We will have audio problems going forth until the end of time. I'm convinced I have a curse on me. So it's all good to go. So we're going to catch up with some Amber. Um, from what I understand, after the last video that I did on her, the semaglutide, she was saying that it stopped working, and I did say that maybe it's because she built up a tolerance, but also it could have been because of the way she stores it, and it does seem to have like a shelf life or an expiration date. Because I did some I did some research, as in like I spent like 10 minutes on Google. That's my research, but I found the answer that I needed. Hit like, guys, if you could, yes, please, that would be great. Do I have tech friends? I probably do, but a lot of Audio Angel. I don't know actually. I could probably ask. I could maybe ask my friend George, but he's like always busy in the daytime, and I'm too. So, but yeah. Anyway, I could ask around, but I don't know. I kind of like that it's part of the charm of my channel. You know what I mean? I kind of like. I think it's kind of funny. Did you miss much? No, I've literally just started, so don't worry. Just trying out, figuring out my audio, figuring out setups. Got like a bit of a different setup now. Using a different camera. The angle is kind of awkward. I don't really like it, but we're just gonna deal with it. It's fine. So yeah, you did more research than what Amber did. Probably did, yeah. But yeah, apparently semaglutide. Once you sort of mix it up, like I was thinking with the growth hormone that obviously like I use very small amounts of once a day. It does have an expiration date, and once you mix it, and if you don't store it properly, it does the what's the word? That's a word. The effectiveness. It does kind of wear off, so it's very possible that that is what happened with her. But also, if you've been on these fat loss injections for a while, you do have to keep upping the dose because you build up a tolerance. So maybe it was just time for her to up the dose. Uh, what's happened to George? He's scrumptious. He's just busy doing dad stuff, you know what I mean? So I saw him in the shop the other day. Actually, I don't see him much because like we've got our own lives and we're always busy doing our own thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's he's all right. He's prepping. I think he's started prep. I think he's going to be doing the Balkan Grand Prix in October. So I'll probably go and look with Lucy and stuff just to support because he's a good friend of mine. But yeah, if you have to take medication, shouldn't you know how to store it? Yeah, I assume that's kind of part and parcel of it. But maybe they didn't. She didn't ask or they didn't tell her. I'm not sure. Christina, hello, thank you. So yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah, apparently there is a shelf life on it, like, and especially once you've mixed it up, you need to store it, you need to cool it because it loses the effectiveness. I do think though, like especially in this clip here, I do feel like she has lost more weight. Not I don't feel like she could be losing as much weight as she could based on the fact that she's taking these fat loss injections. But I do feel like she is losing weight, which is good. At least she's not regressing and she's staying under 500 pounds, which is really good. I'm very happy for her. But I would like to see weigh in. If I was to use my scale eyes, which obviously, emojis in the chat. It's a long running joke on the channels, the scale eyes. I'm gonna put her weight on around like 475 ish. That's my guess, something like that. So she is losing. It is happening. I think it could be more. I'm curious as to why she's not been doing weigh-ins because that's kind of part and parcel. So that is making me think that when she says the injections aren't as effective or they're not working as well, that she maybe has like overeating and binge moments. So I think when she has the injections done and they work, I think she is sticking to the diet. Or not sticking to the diet, she's probably eating in the caloric deficits and it's a lot easier to make healthier choices. But I think she does overeat as well when the injections start wearing off, which is why I'm wondering if she's working with a dietitian as well, whether she's just getting injections. And obviously, you need to have the ongoing mental health help as well there, because it's all like I'm all for injections, I'm all for weight loss surgery, I'm all for people doing whatever they need to do to lose weight if that's what you need to do in order to get healthier and save your life. But also, you need to understand your eating habits and improve them, as well as your mindset, because obviously, there's a reason why people are like Amber. If you're 5'3" and like 500 pounds, almost 600 pounds at one point, there's a reason why you're eating to that size. And we all know that she's had a problematic upbringing, but at some point, you can't. Somebody said in my last live stream, they said like you're not responsible for your past and your trauma, but your you're not, well, you can't take, it's not your fault, but you're responsible for it as you as an adult, which is true at the end of the day. She started smoking the devil's lettuce again, and then it was ever stopped working. Coincidence. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's kind of not clever, is it? Like I personally, it's been a long time for me since I smoked the devil's lettuce because this is not my thing anymore. I used to a lot more, but yeah, if you get the munchies on it, you should. If you're prone to having munchies on it, then smoking green stuffs is really not a good idea, because if you're trying to lose weight and you have munchies, it's very hard not to. It's kind of like with alcohol. I know that there's, in terms of bodybuilding, it's not you drinking alcohol. There's studies out there that alcohol is bad for the body, for example, muscle tissue recovery, etc., etc. I think the biggest problem is, in my opinion, you're fine to have a drink here and there, or as long as you don't go ham every single day or every single weekend and go into excess. The problem is when people have drinks, is people get drunk, and when they're drunk, they don't care about diet. They go off and eat like the post pub kebabs, and then in the mornings they are hungover. They want to eat, the fast foods that makes you feel good. They don't stay hydrated. Then the next day they don't want to train. So I think it's more of a knock-on effect. And I know there's scientific evidence out there that like alcohol breaks down muscle tissue, etc. But I'm also a believer that stress is very bad for the body. So if I've had a stressful few days and I've been really busy, or even stressful, if I've had a busy few days, I'm pretty sure that if I have a glass of wine or a glass of vodka, it helps me chill out and relax. Or I'm with my friends, I'm having a good time with my friends, I'm relaxing, and all of that brings my cortisol down and I sleep better. Like it's like balances, I mean, if everything in your life you're doing is healthy, but then like, well, here and there you have a bad habit, and not even a bad habit, but like you indulge, so to speak. It's kind of like having a Taco Bell or a McDonald's. Sometimes it isn't bad. Having it every day is probably not so great. What is a munchie? So there's two types of munchies. So you have munchies when you smoke devil's lettuce or marijuana. Can't say the word because I'll get demonetized. But you get munchies, and it basically makes you want to eat. You also get a munchie, and that's also internet terminology for somebody that has Munchausen by not Munchausen by proxy. That means that the parent has it, or like somebody within the family, to the person they are trying to make sick. But if you are a munchie, you are basically somebody that has Munchausen. So you think you all have everything wrong with you. So yeah, the amount of body weight loss on injectables are 20-30%, as opposed to 60-70% of surgery. Yeah, there is an adaptation for sure, but these fat loss injections, like they are kind of the future. From what I understand, they keep getting better and better and better, and with every new iteration, there's less side effects and they get more effective. So I think once you start them, and the goal with them is not to only just rely on the hunger that's being stopped the hunger, that's the less food that you can eat because of the receptors and the hunger signaling, like all of that's being subdued. It's not only about that. If you implement a healthy lifestyle, then you can keep losing weight, but I suppose purely just injection wise, and you don't do anything else, you just eat less. So yeah, what do I think about creatine? I mean, creatine has been proven to work. It's like pretty much the only supplement in terms of like whey proteins. I mean, like they all kind of like have their effectiveness and the doses, but creatine is the only one that works. But creatine isn't magic. What creatine does, it basically restores your ATP, or like your creatine, I think it's your creatine phosphate, your energy substrate. So it restores it quicker. So basically, if you can sprint normally for 9 seconds with creatine, you can do 10 seconds because your energy restores it quicker. If normally you can do a weight at, say, maybe not 1 rep maxes, but say working sets of like, say, 13 repetitions on a weight, you can maybe do 14. So technically, it can result in gains, but it's not like a steroid. That's all. Like, it's not that sort of recovery. It's just your energy system replenishes quicker, and that's basically what it does. But it works. It's been proven to work. If you take it and you have a bad quality creatine, like if you take it in general, you can gain some weight, but it's intracellular. So when people freak out when they lose weight and they say like, "Oh, I'm looking really watery from creatine," it's like, well, either you're taking way too much. I believe like 5 grams a day is enough. It takes a week or two for it to get into the system. When you take it, doesn't matter because it takes time to build up. But when people say they gain weight, it shouldn't make you look softer because it can maybe slightly, just minimally, if you're like, I mean, if you're like bodybuilding prep lean, if you're just a normal person with a healthy level of body fat, it's not going to make any difference to how you look because the weight gain is intracellular. So it shouldn't make you look watery on the outside. I'm 152 for Scooter. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for the morning entertainment. I did my foster care for a girl whose mom has a bunch of houses by proxy. That's really bad. I actually feel so sorry for these people. It's like the Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose is like a situation of Munchausen by proxy. It's kind of like I I kind of can't blame her for the things that happened with her mum in a way. But then obviously, you shouldn't be going around like unaliving people. But then at the same time, the kind of the shit that her mum put her through, I can kind of understand it. What dose of berberine would one start off on? Well, I would first of all talk to your doctor because if you're on any medication for lowering blood pressure, not blood pressure for your insulin, it might be not counterproductive, but it could be too much. So if you're already taking something like a metformin, you might not want to take it at all. From what I understand, the research is saying that between 12 to 1500 milligrams a day, spread across several meals. Ideally, with carbohydrate meals, is effective for fat loss and managing your blood sugar levels. And I think that's basically it's 1500 milligrams, if I remember correctly. But I would say if you have any insulin problems, talk to your doctor first because if you follow like an extremely low carb diet, you might want to be careful as well because it could potentially make you go hypoglycemic. So just be a bit careful with that. Creatine also improves cognition. It's a hydrophilic, so it draws water into the muscle, making them look bigger. Yeah. Bo always comes through with the more clever answers than me. Well, you should be like my co-guest or something like that. So yeah, my mum fed me too much when I started eating less at 12. Are you on live chat or top chat? I am. I've got this is my StreamYard chat, and here I've got my chat up here because I've got all messages. Is normally what I do. I don't do top chat. I do yeah, all chats basically. Yeah, I'm not going to put that on screen, but that's really horrible. I'm sure that this girl has got a lot of trauma to work through. So this is kind of like when we go like, oh, we have bad things happen in our past. Then you have girls and boys and kids that go through things like that, where it's kind of like, okay, maybe we shouldn't feel so sad about it. I think, and as I said, that one trauma isn't worse than the other, but some things are worse than others. Anyway, all right. Happy to be your nerdy sidekick. We can do that sometime if you want to. We can do that, but message me on Instagram. But yeah, if you want to do that, we can do that sometime. Anyway, let's catch up with Amber because my dogs will probably want to go out in the next hour or so. So let me just my insurance won't cover the injections, but cover the surgeries. Let's get into the video and see what she has to say. So I will have her on 1.5 speeds because that's just how I do Amber. It's too slow for me otherwise. So we'll do her on 1.5 speed. We'll look at this one. What happened with my exes, semaglutide isn't working, and then she's got a Q&A as well. So we'll look at both, and I think we'll be able to get through them because her videos aren't that long. But then I do talk a lot. But then 45 minutes or so should be enough time. I think, depending on how much you guys distract me in a good way, and how much I talk.
June 28th. So I just got back from the package room. I had this massive package in there because I got.
All right. So first of all, thumbs up the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe as well whilst you're at it if you haven't already, and also thumbs up in this chat if you can hear all right, because that's like before I go ahead and start talking and playing, I just want to make sure that yeah, we can hear. I'm back on these, by the way. I went to a shop that sold these, so I'm having one of these. Wake up with the strenuous walking away to a 4 with a good diet. I mean, the good diet is key, really. Exercise, work, and walks are good, but the diet is basically the most important thing out of everything. Death. Just the name, death. Love it. Thanks, guys.
A new cat scratcher. I also got new shampoo and conditioner. A lot of people have been recommending this brand right here, Redken. So I'm excited.
Well, I'm pretty sure I reacted to this already. So it might. Oh no, I did already react to this. What am I doing? I forgot about that. Sorry. So let's see if I missed something. What happened with my ex? Well, here's what really happened. Oh, sorry. So yeah, we're just gonna go to. I can't believe I'm sharing this. Sorry, guys. I thought I didn't react to it, but apparently I did. But it was showing us not. It's not viewed. So there we go. She's a bit quiet. Don't worry.
supposed to
I'll
X with
offer.
somebody. It's a really weird way for me to
It's
word it, but it was September.
1 second. Is this better? I might be able to turn my mic. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn my microphone a bit down. I might be able to turn me a bit down. Wait a second.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So today I figured we would
Is this
do an
better?
Instagram Q&A. So
Is this better in terms of like my audio levels versus hers? Let me know before I go ahead. Much better? All right, good. Let's get going. So yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I already reacted to it because it showed. You know how on YouTube it shows whether you started watching a video or not. This showed as it hadn't, but obviously it had. So yeah, there we go. She was better. Okay. Oh well, it's all right now. This microphone is a lot better than that one anyway, so it should be able to pick it up a bit better. Right.
all my questions that I got today are from Instagram. I just posted on Instagram and said, hey guys, I'm filming a new YouTube video, so send me your questions. Nothing is
So we're doing is it an Instagram Q&A moment. Shall we play along? I'll play along with her. Whatever question she gets asked, I'll answer with her. I always find it quite fun to play along with them. Good morning. Good morning.
off limits. Normally when I do that, I'll scroll through, like I get hundreds of questions. I'll scroll through, I'll just decide based on like what I feel like answering. If there's any questions that I notice are like super repetitive and a lot of people are asking, but this time I went into it with a new rule. I said that I am going to answer the first 30 questions regardless of what they are. Obviously, if there's any repeats, then I'm going to skip that and move on to the next question. But I wrote down the first 30. It's a lot, so I definitely should
I just take screenshots whenever I do a Q&A because I find it easy than writing it down. But she likes to write things down. For me, it's just like more time effective to just take a screenshot and read from the screenshots.
just get into it. I'm going to be answering them in the order that I received them. So the first one is, did you ever cheat on an ex? And the answer is yes. The last time I cheated on someone, I was 17 years old. And I'm 33 now, so it's been a hot minute. That's why I don't firmly
Yeah, I did once when I was very young as well, and I haven't since because it's just not a good thing to do, and I felt really bad afterwards. So yeah, it's one of those things. I think when you're young, like really young, how old was I? Like 20 or something like that as well, and then I haven't since because it's just not. I don't know. I think it's it's not a right thing to do. If you feel like you're at that stage where things aren't working out with somebody, it's just better to end it rather than do that, in my opinion. So yeah, no. But you know, when you're young, you just make fucking stupid mistakes, don't you? You need to think ahead. Why leave a Q&A open for 24 hours if she would only do answer the first 30? I don't know, actually. I don't know. This is her own question. She wants to redeem her ex if she really even existed. I think she probably did. I don't think why you would say that you're in a relationship with somebody or seeing somebody that is like an internet person that you've never met before. Like that's not a flex or anything. It's kind of a bit weird to basically admit that you're in a relationship with somebody to the whole world that you haven't even met yet. So I think that person existed. What happened, I don't know. Obviously, because nobody knows. But I hope you're not late. No, we just started the Rusty Metalhead, so you're in time. But yeah, I miss her clothing hauls. They were peak entertainment. They shouldn't do those anymore. I don't think so. Somebody's asking me to do more clothing hauls, and I would love to. But whenever I do a clothing haul, I buy it with my own money. So this is why you don't get money. This is why you don't get many because it's my own money. But I guess I could like order things and try them on and send them back. But all of that kind of stuff is such a pain in the ass over here. So I just I tend not to do it.
believe in the whole like once a cheater, always a cheater. I do think that there are a lot of cheaters who do not change, but there's also a large quantity of us like me who do change. And I'm going to blame it on
I think it depends on the person and the situation and the age and like I think there's many factors that go into it. If people are always doing it and they're like over a certain age range and you've kind of matured past it, then yeah, I think it's hard to overcome. But when you're like a child, I don't know, like not a child, you're not a child when you're like 16 or 18 or 20, but in my head you kind of like are still a kid. Because if I think back on myself when I was 18 or 20, I thought I was really mature, but I wasn't really. I just thought I was. And I probably was maybe a bit more mature than some others, but still, you know, she's already talking to somebody else. Ivan Anderson, hello, hello.
like I was young and stupid. Yes, when you're 17, you know the difference between right and wrong, but like I was also in a long distance relationship at that age. So I was just a mess, but I have not cheated since then and I don't plan on it. Thoughts on people saying that you're quitting semaglutide rather than it just not working for you? So
I even think like when you're talking to people and like you're online on when you're if you're in a relationship with somebody and like you're having conversations in DMs, like I even think that that's inappropriate. I know that some people don't think so, and like I'm not saying you can't have male and female friends within reason, but I think like it like I'm not personally if I'm seeing somebody like I don't even entertain people in my DMs for like unless it's just people if people react to something I'll like it and that's it. But otherwise I don't even do it because I don't know. I just think it's inappropriate. But I don't know.
So semaglutide
What
obviously does
marriage?
not work for everybody, and it did work for me when I was on the lowest dose. The first 4 weeks was literally
The human brain doesn't finish developing until we're 25. To me, that is when a few people as adults. Yeah, and even still, like I mean, some 25-year-olds can be mature, some not. But yeah, for I agree. When I was in my early 20s, I was a I was a mess. But obviously, that is the time to be a mess as well, isn't it? You know, it's not to be like in your mid 30s. To be a mess is not so appropriate.
really magic. Then once week 5 happened, I really don't know what happened, but it just like stopped working. And then I was just hoping that like once I increased the dose, that
Maybe.
would start working again, and it hasn't. So a lot of times, if semaglutide doesn't
Oh, hold on,
and it
hold on. Let me just go back to it because she was talking about the
did
semaglutide.
work for me when I was on the lowest dose. The first 4 weeks was that age. So I was just a mess, but I have not cheated since then and I don't plan on it. Thoughts on people saying that you're quitting semaglutide rather than it just not working for you? So semaglutide obviously does not work for everybody, and it did work for me when I was on the lowest dose. The first 4 weeks was literally magic. Then once week 5 happened, I really don't know what happened, but it just like stopped working. And then I was just hoping that like once I increased the dose, that it would start working again, and it hasn't. So a lot of times, if semaglutide doesn't work for someone, you just move on to the next one. There's also compounded Mounjaro, so obviously that's another option for me. Would you ever talk to a guy? No, I am a lesbian.
Okay, so I'm not too sure how that works. I don't know if you just. It seems a bit weird that. I mean, it's possible. I haven't done enough research into it, so I don't know if it's a case of just upping the dose means that it's going to become more effective. For some things it works like that, but some things it doesn't. Like for example, you see it a lot in bodybuilding with something like a compound like trend, for example, which like I don't really know too much about male gear use at all. I know that people like to talk that I take a lot, but like I won't something like trend obviously I would never touch because this is like even for men it's absolutely toxic. But some people think that if you're going to take like a gram a week, it's going to make you better, but it doesn't. Like some things, it does have a cap off of like you can take like say 100 grams a week or like 1,000 grams, not 1,000 grams, but like no, uh, 100 grams, 100 milligrams. Sorry, not 100 grams, 100 milligrams a week or a gram a week, and like it's still going to have the same sort of effect. Maybe not quite exactly, obviously, but to, just to put it into some sort of perspective, um, it doesn't work like that with all compounds. So I don't know how it works with semaglutide. I have no idea if it's going to be effective on the lower dose, and then she build up a tolerance, and then once you reach the tolerance point, it's not going to be effective anymore because whatever happened in the body. Like I said, she wasn't storing it properly, and when the dose she had, she didn't store it properly, and it was I think she kept it open for too long, and like the effectiveness does wear off. So I don't know if she got like a new dose from her doctor, a new batch, so to speak. Maybe that's his. Maybe she didn't do that. I'm not sure, but it's possible that you do build up a tolerance and you have to go to new compounds. I'm not too sure, but yeah, It's possible. I don't know.
Have you spoken to Valentine since you broke up? After we broke up, we wanted to try being friends, but that did not work out at all. The last time that I talked to her was like maybe 2 weeks ago. But the last time she contacted me was she sent me a screenshot of a TikTok I posted and she was pretty upset about it. So even if she hurt me, like obviously it does bother me that my TikTok hurt her, but I do feel in my heart that I had every right to be able to post that if I wanted to. But I didn't respond to her message because it was just kind of harsh. And I just think right now in both of our lives, we probably shouldn't communicate with each other. Why didn't you meet Valentine?
It's a bit weird to be sharing it on the internet because there's not really any need to do that, right? I mean, like if you don't want to talk about it anymore, which well, I don't know. I guess you talked about it before, so it makes sense. I don't know. Like I'm kind of like if I'm done with somebody, I'm usually done with them. And that doesn't mean I can't be like friendly in terms of like have if I see them on the street, I'll say hi. But for the most part, it's kind of like if it's done, it's done. Like I'm not really friends with my exes. Unless I think you have children involved or like there's like a long history or something like that. For the most part, if you've just dated, and especially something like this, I don't know. Or maybe you knew each other beforehand. Usually, I'm not too keen on being friends with an ex. An ex is an ex for a reason. So yeah, they're not. I don't really stay in touch with my exes. So, and I don't really care to either. But yeah, you think it's immature? Well, yeah. it depends on what happens, I suppose. But I don't know. I think exes are, I don't people who I'm personally don't want to be friends with my exes unless, and I don't know how I would feel about people being friends with their ex. It depends on the situation. I think if they have kids together, I understand. I think actually, if you have children together, you should be amicable with each other because it's really bad for the children. But otherwise, if you just go your separate ways, you go your separate ways for a reason. So
first before wanting her to move in, because there was a lot of things that like she was going through, and it would have been actually impossible for her to just like come visit me
yes.
first. And we really wanted to be together, so we thought that that was the only option to do so. What is your type personality wise? So I like someone who's weird. We can be weird together. Someone who's funny, charming. I like a genuine person, a genuine soul. Someone who is sweet. Someone that I can like easily communicate with, get along with. We can have like our inside jokes. Like we're not just like lovers, but we're also best friends. What else can you tell us about your favorite?
Yeah, I think so. I wish she just focused on herself before leaving yet into another relationship. Zen hands, I do agree with that. I think it's like there's something about being comfortable on your own. Um, it does bring a peace because like it's dating is nice and obviously I think at the end of the day everybody wants to have a good relationship, or not everybody, most people. I think it's human nature to want to love and be loved, and it's kind of human nature to want to be in a bonding a pair bonded relationship. But also I think if you learn to be on your own and you get to know yourself better and you understand also why things aren't working out, not just because other people, but you yourself, because nobody's perfect. Like you can, even if you're with somebody that's like an asshole, like you are still part of what happened, right? So there's still things that you need to change within yourself. Maybe it's like setting boundaries. Maybe you are too compliant. Maybe you need to learn to become more assertive. So even though you might not have necessarily done anything bad as such, the fact that you perhaps allowed somebody to treat you a certain way, that means that you still need to work on things yourself as well. So there's, I think, and also anybody that's somewhat mature has to realize that there's things that we need to we as people, we can always improve. And if you think that you're I mean, if you think you're perfect, you're kind of arrogant, right? But there's always things to improve on. There's always things to reflect back on, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, a business relationship. It doesn't matter. If things break down, it's always good to look back on it and go like, oh, what could I do better? Like, what have I done? Not necessarily wrong, but how can I change things? So it's yeah, I think it's important, and I think pardon me, it's my drink. It's repeating on me a little bit. If you're, I think once you sort of get to a point where you're comfortable with yourself, being on your own, you learn to set boundaries more, and then you also learn quickly whether or not people are, taking the piss, where their interests lay, what effort they're willing to make. So yeah, but she can't be alone. No, and I think this is also very difficult for some people because you've got to also, in particular in her situation, it's obviously different from other people. Like everybody is different. We all have had our different upbringings. But Trinity Dowles, good morning. She obviously was somebody that was in a situation where her parents weren't around. Her parents were drug addicts. She was in foster care a lot. So I can understand that if you as a child you didn't get love like that, I think it's something you really desire as an adult, and like I can kind of relate to that. Like I didn't, I mean, like I did experience love as a child, but maybe not so much like physical affection. So like when I'm in a relationship, I can become like quite like overly affectionate, which I don't know. Maybe some people find that suffocating. Maybe some people like it, but I think it's because if you didn't have that um, closeness in a certain way, you seek that. Often, the things you seek in relationship as an adult, or the things that you're willing to overlook as like red flags, etc., is the kind of stuff that you miss out on as a child, and that's like I recognize that a lot within myself. So it's understandable. Like I can understand from her part that it's very difficult for her. Well, first of all, she has had to have a partner in her life for the majority of her life because of the fact that she was so morbidly obese at one point that she was bedbound. So some of her partners have been practically also carers. So there's that aspect there that she maybe conditioned herself growing up to be just reliant on somebody in her life. And then also there is the upbringing of having been a neglected child. So you're going to want to have somebody in your life all the time. But I agree, she needs to learn to be on her own. And I think when she does that, Elon has love languages discovered. Physical touch, I wouldn't say so. I would say my first love language is like cooking. For sure. I do like physical touch and I do a lot of gift giving. And I do have words of affirmation as well. I mean, like, I don't know, if I care for somebody and I love somebody, like I do sometimes too much, but that's whatever. Good morning from New Jersey. Good morning. But yeah, no, it's like I do like physical touch. Yeah, but it takes me, like, I'm kind of like I'm a very distant person initially, but if I feel comfortable, then I am quite for physical touch. But otherwise, it depends. But yeah, for me, it's words of for me, it's words of I'm trying to read fast. For me, it's words of affirmation and acts of service. Even though I was loved as a child, I never received praise or anything, and I grew up as a caretaker for others. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a nurturing archetype. Yes. Oh well, how do you know about archetypes? Like, let me rephrase that. How can I find out about archetypes? Because I'm curious to read about that. But that sounds quite accurate, to be fair, because I like to take care of people, but it's not even altruistic either. I'm not even going to pretend it is altruistic. I do it because it makes me feel good. Like, if I see street dogs and I feed them, I don't do it because, like, oh, I feel so good for the street dogs. I do it because it makes me happy to see them happy. Like, I literally do it for purely selfish reasons. For selfish reasons, like, I like to take care of people because it makes me happy. That's why I do it. Basically, I don't do it. I like to go with the astrology archetypes. Off. So yeah, I'm like a Scorpio, but like I think some things are kind of true, some things are not. I don't know. I don't know what I think about that. Then they talk about the ascending risings and then all of that. I do extra service, but I'm also touchy. But I blame that on the whole thing of being a massage therapist. Yeah, it probably makes a difference if you're a massage therapist.
Favorite reaction channel besides that they're a woman. So I actually used to have like a little tiny mini crush on them. So that's some tea. AmberLynn having a crush on a reaction channel. Whoa. Besties, blocked, or acquaintance.
Interesting.
Alex, Zach, Jordy. So with this question, it took me like a million years to figure out what they meant, but I think it's like F, Marry, Kill. But this person was like besties, blocked, acquaintance. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty smart. So Alex, Zach, or Jordy. Okay. So I'm not going to lie. My opinion on these three change all the time. So we're just going to go with strictly how I feel right now in this moment. Acquaintance, Zach. Besties, Jordy. Blocked, Alex. Do you want to get married one day? I do. I've always wanted to get married, but obviously I want it to be with someone that like I can truly see like a happy future with. Are you talking to someone new?
It's funny, like me and my friend we were talking about marriage yesterday, and it's like, obviously I got married partially to get into Bulgaria because of like travel restrictions and stuff. Because that's not how in my head I wanted to get married. And when I think back on it, not when I think back on it, I know that in my head, if I have a proper wedding, it'd be nice to have a proper wedding, not just sign some papers and be done with it. But basically, what was I going to say? We were talking about it, and like, it is nice to be married, but I think in this day and age, unless you're gonna have children or you have like a lot of investments together financially, like what is the point? If you're like if for children or investments, it's like legally it makes sense to be married, but otherwise, like I mean, it's nice to have that commitment to truly say like, oh, we really love each other. But I don't know, in this day and age, hmm, I don't know. I'm not against getting married, but obviously, if I want to get married, I'd like to have children. And like I know that people keep telling me it's like, oh, why don't you like do like get like a sperm donor or something like that? I want to have ideally a family. I don't want to just have a child. Which I know that people are saying like having a child is like one of the most gratifying things there is, but I'd like to have a family. That's basically what I would want. I want a family unit to bring a child up in because it's something that I missed growing up. But yeah, it's one of those things. I just want to sign the papers and be done with it. Who the fuck gets the money? I don't know. I like it's not. Yeah, true. This is true. But at the same time, it's nice though. Uh, you just said it. It's for love and the commitment's bitter much. What do you mean? I don't understand. You just said it's for the love and the commitment bitter much. Well, not really. If I was bitter, I wouldn't have gotten divorced in it. So I don't really understand. I made that choice. So no, I'm not bitter at all. Um, a family unit is what I want. Yeah, exactly. Oh, she's
Yes,
quite now.
I
Oh,
am. Does your mom enjoy being on videos more now? She actually does. And she'll literally watch the videos that she's in because she's just cute and adorable. So she loves your guys' support and everything. So yeah. Are you still not smoking? Actually, I did start vaping again. I did. I told you guys that me quitting vaping was not going to be a forever thing. I like really warned you guys of that. But I didn't vape for like 7 weeks and I'm very proud of that accomplishment, but I was missing it and now I vape again. For those of you who don't
Yeah, it's not really a good thing to be vaping, is it? Especially if there's a THC that she's vaping. I understand why the weight loss ain't weight lossing, and the comments about the semaglutide not working anymore. If you're getting high, then yeah, that's probably why, isn't it?
know, I do not vape nicotine. It's not nicotine, so don't worry about that. It is Delta 8, which probably isn't the greatest thing either, but whatever. What was the date you and Valentine broke up? It was one day after our 4-month anniversary. I broke up with her on June 15th. When was the last time you had sex? So the last time I had like physical sex with someone.
Like physical sex. I mean, like when people ask the question of like when's the last time you did something like that, that's obviously they mean physical sex, right? Like I don't know, she talk about like phone sex or something. I wouldn't count that. But regardless, for me, it's been so long. I'm pretty sure my hymen is fucking grown.
Somebody. It's a really weird way for me to word it, but it was September. I'm very much that girly pop where I can't have sex with someone unless I love them or I'm like extremely close to loving them because I need that like mental
I've never had Delta. I don't know what Delta 8 is like. I'm heard it's like not even a good THC, but I don't know. You don't get it over here.
emotional
Um.
connection. That is how
Oh,
I gain
we've got a super sticker from Paolo. Thank you so much. I like the little. What is he? He's a little fox. I was gonna say it in Japanese. I can't think of the name now. But yeah, a little foxy guy. He's very cute. Thank you. I hope you're doing well, by the way.
the sexual connection. And once that's there, like it is like on and popping. If you could travel anywhere and live there for a month, where would you go? I don't know why, but like Vegas or Hawaii, I feel like it would be
I'm so surprised that she would pick somewhere in the US. If you could go anywhere for a month and live somewhere for a month, if you're an American, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a lot of beautiful places in America, but that's kind of like me turning around and going like, oh yeah, I would just spend like a month like on the coast here in Bulgaria. It's a bit weird, no? If somebody were to say like you can spend somewhere for like a year or 6 months or like what did you say? I can't even remember how long the period was. Regardless, for me to travel anywhere, it would be like Japan. Obviously, I would love to go to Japan, but yeah, I would that would be for me my ultimate goal, especially if it was paid for. That'd be fantastic. But from what I heard, like Japan is a bit funny. Like it's kind of a bit expensive to travel there and to stay there, but the food is apparently not so expensive. So it's like and going out and stuff isn't. Well, obviously Tokyo is, but then any capital is. So yeah, mental sex. I'd go to Thailand. Yeah, Thailand seems quite nice, but for me it would be Japan, Cat Island in Japan. Just Japan in general, anywhere from the north to the south.
be super fun to like live there for a full month. Like I would have the time of my life. Why don't you ever acknowledge your own hypocrisy?
He was ever to go skiing. He should come to Bulgaria in the winter. People don't know that, but Bulgaria is very good for skiing. Not that I have done it because I haven't, but we have there's some really good mountains here. Not that like the Alps, but I think it's like I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the highest mountains in Europe is the Alps. Then I think it might be the Pyrenees, and then I think it could be the mountains in Bulgaria, but I'm not too sure. I could be wrong. But I was surprised when I came here the first time and I saw like all the mountains and like how beautiful the landscape is and the nature. That's one of the things I really like about Bulgaria. It's like especially living in Sofia, it takes me 10 minutes and I'm like literally in like the deep forest, 10, 15 minutes. In the weekday, maybe a bit longer if there's traffic, but it's got really beautiful nature and it's I think the Balkans are really underappreciated. It has the bad things, like and obviously there's like poverty and stuff like that in some places, and there's some corruption and stuff like that. But corruption happens in every country. Let's be real. It's just some of it is just more in your face than other countries. But yeah, it's like the Balkans is really, in my opinion, undiscovered. It's a lot of good food. People are friendly. I recommend it. I've been to Japan 4 times. Incredible country culture. Yeah, I can just imagine it's the only place on earth where you can go to that is not like anywhere else in this world. I can imagine it's just like completely and absolutely just completely different. Yeah. I was in Banov last year. Really nice. I don't know where that is. But do you mean Banskov? Banskov. Maybe I'm confused. That's possible. Felicia gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. So let's see who got a member. Diary of a Recovering Fatty, Catherine Smith, Crystal, C.S. Rayburn, and Jade were gifted memberships. Thank you so much. So feel free to insert all of the member emojis and let's do some baklavas, right? We haven't done baklavas for a while. So baklavas for Felicia as a thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That word is so hard for me to say. I don't know why. But I do feel like I own it and acknowledge it. I always say that all of us as humans, we are literally walking hypocrites. And that is
A friend of mine went to the Maldives and they said it was nice, but there's not much to do. It's kind of like she said, it's like one of those places you go to take Instagram pictures and it's very beautiful and very pretty, but it's small and there's not a lot to do. So like to stay there for a week would probably get boring unless you're the sort of person that likes to just like lay on the beach for a week, which isn't me. I would get very bored. I can do a day on the beach here and there. But otherwise, thanks for the baklavas, guys. I can see it. I can see them coming through. But Banff is in Canada. I was going to say. Ah, okay, very nice. I don't. I think Canada is a bit like Norway, yeah? From what I understand, from what I've seen of pictures, Norway is pretty. It's just like Scandinavia is kind of boring. Sorry, not sorry. I can say that I'm half Swedish, and I did not enjoy living in Sweden at all. And I would never return to Sweden. I would never live there again. But it's beautiful. It can be very beautiful. But yeah, boring.
including myself. When semaglutide
Yes.
was working, did you ever miss the joy food gave you? Honestly, no. And that was something that I was always afraid of. Like,
This is one of the things that a lot of these fat loss injections, like that's why they think it could potentially become quite revolutionary in general. Is that like it's not just it doesn't just make you not want to eat. It actually if you take them long enough, it can help with rewiring of just general like addictions. It can help with addictions in general. So even it's been proven to work on people that are like alcoholic and everything. So it could potentially be very good for the future of people that have like problems with eating and addiction and stuff like that. Which I was thinking about this the other day because I do believe like the whole big pharma conspiracy is a thing. But then if you keep people hooked on like medication, then they're still making money in it. So yeah, the Scandinavians do make good metal. This is very true. This is because there's a lot of darkness and depression.
I was like, shit, am I just gonna
What I didn't like about Sweden, it's just boring. There's nothing to do. Like unless you're in like a really big city, which I wasn't, but there's nothing to do. Um, it's super expensive. It's a lot of darkness in the winter. The people are kind of a lot of them. I mean, they're friendly, but they're not like super outgoing. They're kind of like more inward. I don't know. I just maybe it's when I moved as well. I moved there when I was like 15, 16. Having been in Holland, and in Holland you could go out and like I had a social life, and I moved to Sweden, and then it was just like living in a village with nothing. I went from living in sort of like a small city that was vibing, that had like a pretty good nightlife. It was the summer, it had like a lot of things happening, to then just go to a village in the middle of nowhere with nothing. And where the nearest town is like a 20-minute drive. Yeah, it wasn't great. But yeah. Does your mum live in Sweden? Yes. I know she can speak Swedish. I noticed that you speak Dutch in between you two brothers. Swedish. So my mum is Swedish and she lives in Sweden, but she brought me up in Holland. So I speak Dutch with my family, except for my mother's side of the family. I speak Swedish with them, but with my mother and my father, I speak Dutch because I was brought up in Holland. So my nationality is Dutch, but my mother is Swedish. But I don't speak Swedish with her now. I feel really weird speaking Swedish with her from the dark north of Sweden, the Lele 6. Hello, hello. And it does get dark and all, eh? But I suppose this time of year is probably very light on the plus side.
gonna have like a mental breakdown because I can't enjoy food? And I never once felt that way. Like
Yes.
I was so excited not to like turn to food, and that's why I was finding different coping mechanisms, and it was working out really well when it was working. Like I felt amazing physically, mentally, all of it. Are you still drinking? Because you seem drunk all the time. This made me LOL because I don't know what about myself makes it seem like I'm drunk, because I promise you that is not the case at all. I haven't drank in so long, like it's been months, and the last time was literally
Is that the way you say it? I haven't drank. I haven't had a drink. Sometimes, right? I listen to her and like I question my own English, and I've noticed as well since I've lived in Bulgaria, I speak English. My English has regressed, and it's because when I speak with Bulgarians that don't speak very good English, I adapt my English, even though I don't speak a lot of Bulgarian. I speak a little, not very much at all. Like I have some words I can understand a little. I can read a little bit of Cyrillic, so I'm not complete. I need to work on it. After the summer, I just want to have a summer of not worrying about like too many things besides just like work and stuff. But after the summer, I'm going to look into doing like some course work, which I started doing before, and then I'll stop because life happened and other things. But uh, what was I going to say about learning Bulgarian? When when I speak English to somebody who has bad English in Bulgarian, I the way I speak English, I change it around to match their grammar, which is really bizarre because I don't actually speak Bulgarian like that. But because of I understand by the way that they speak to me, if I structure my sentences and my tenses in a certain way, people understand me better. It's really weird. So I think once I start actually trying to learn Bulgarian properly, I think I probably will pick it up okay-ish. Now I don't think I'll ever become fluent because it is a very difficult language. It's got very complicated tenses and it's got like masculine and feminine, and it's like it is a very hard language to learn. But I think just to get like okay at basic conversation, I think I'll be all right. But yeah, her grammar is shocking. It is her, right? It is her. It's still a lot better than 3.4 GPA girls. I don't even know what that means. This isn't the best. Is Bulgaria safe for queer people? I want to go to Sofia for a research trip, but I'm a bit scared to go. So, in general, I would say that it's the country is quite conservative, but I've never had or seen anybody get treated poorly. And I do see queer people about. I do see it. Like, but obviously I'm not, so I don't know what the experience is like. But I think if you're in Sofia, you should be fine. I don't see like I've never seen people are conservative and they have conservative viewpoints, but I've never heard or seen people get like beaten up or anything like that. I would say out of all the countries I've been to and lived in, like I felt the most safe in Bulgaria. I used to live in Sunny Beach and I would walk my dogs in the morning or in the evening and there'd be like drunk guys and stuff like that. And in Sunny Beach, I mean, there's English people as well, but there's a lot of Bulgarians that go there also. And like, I've never had any problems. I've never felt like my life was in danger ever here. And I've walked home in the UK so many times. And in Holland and Sweden, in Holland, you would walk past gangs of guys and they would all wolf whistle or they would like slow down, walk next to you. Like, I mean, like cars like hoot at me and like I get guys holler at me from cars and stuff like that sometimes, which is fun. Like I don't care about stuff like that. But I've never been followed here. I've never heard of girls being like bothered in such a way. It happens, I think, like obviously these things happen. They happen in every country, in every place. I think people are more conservative in their viewpoints because people are quite religious here still as well. So this is another thing to bear in mind. And I think because people are religious, obviously, with most religions, being queer is not as accepted, depending on how strict you are within your religion, and depending like within most religions. But I don't think it's too much of an issue as long as, well, yeah, I don't think it's too much of an issue. But I don't know. I really don't know because obviously I'm not queer, so I can't speak for the experience. But I've never seen people be like outwardly racist towards people that are of color. I've never seen people just be abusive towards queer people. I've never seen it happen. I've never seen people be beaten up. So how people know you're queer? Yeah, not being funny, just we're curious. Maybe she means like to come with like her partner walking hand in hand, which I see by the way. I have seen girls and boys like holding hands. I do see that happen, and like people might give you a funny look, but I think you get funny looks anywhere you go, right? I think it's one of those things, but I honestly I don't think it's anything to be too overly worried about. I think if you're like super out there, people might look at you, but then people look at me because I'm kind of out there. So yeah, I think it's fine. They want to be honest. My girlfriend wants to tag along. I think he'll be fine. To be honest, I don't think it's an issue at all. I think if you were to hold a hand, some people might give you a funny look. But then I walk down the street here and fucking like elderly people like sometimes to give me a funny look and then let them give you a funny look. But I won't be worried about it. No, I'm pretty sure there's like queer bars and stuff like that. So yeah, no, no one is religious. Really? Do you really not think so? Do you know what, Christina? I disagree with you there. Most people I've met here believe in God to some degree, and most people I've met here are quite like they're not like super religious that they go to like church, but like I've met a lot of people here that believe in God. Like I would say most people, you're selling Bulgaria to me. No, honestly, for me, like most people is like I would say most people believe in God here. More so than like in Northern Europe. In Northern Europe, everybody's like proper atheists. Nobody believes in God. Like, well, I'm not saying nobody, but very few people are religious at all. But here in Bulgaria, in my experience, most people are. They do believe in God. They might not be super religious in the sense that they go to church every weekend, but everybody does believe in God. So I don't know. Maybe I think people nowadays draw a line at different pronouns. Yeah, a funny look is how I get looked at London Pride. Yeah, so I don't think you have to worry. Have you been to the Sunday service? Zero people in church? No, I've never been. I'm not. I'm not super religious. I'm not against the thought of a creator, but I have to experience it. I'm open. I'm open to many things. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, I like that it's Orthodox. Some people are religious though, like they do believe in God. But I guess you don't have to be a church going person to be a believer in a God. Anyway, let's get back to.
with friends, but I do plan on drinking sometime soon because I do have someone coming to visit me, and we might have a buzz ball or two or three or four. So I'm actually really excited. I'm not gonna lie. Not excited about the buzz balls,
I'm
but
not
excited
sure.
about the person coming to visit me. But I mean, also low-key kind of excited for a buzz ball because why not? Did you ever want kids before getting your hysterectomy? Yes, I always wanted kids.
So you just asked about Sophia Pride. Let me just share this tab instead. Yes, there is a Pride in Sophia. So there you go. 10,000 people. It was earlier, a few weeks ago. More than 10,000 people joined. So yeah, there was a Pride event here. And I didn't. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to stop sharing the whole thing then. Share the screen. So yeah,
There was like a phase where I
don't
was in like
worry.
this weird denial
I think everybody's come to accept that my live streams are a bit like this. This is probably why it's a good thing I don't live stream too much. My live streams is like play somebody in the background and I kind of chat with you guys. Oh well, never mind. I don't. I like to not conform to what is expected of me. I do what I like to do, and I like to talk to you guys.
moment where I was like, no, I don't want kids. And I think it's because like I knew I would never be able to give birth. I've always like truly
Varna, 100%. Burgos has got nice beaches, but Varna is cool. Varna's got a really nice vibe. It's got kind of more of I would say the nicest cities in Bulgaria in terms of if you're looking for like more like of a historical cultural vibe, if that's your thing. Plovdiv and Varna are very good for that, and there's a couple of other smaller towns that I can't think of. But those are like the biggest cities that are nice. Sofia is cool. It's got like a nice nightlife. I can't really speak for the nightlife in. I mean, the nightlife on the coast anywhere is going to be good in any coast city because it's the summer now. So if you go in the summer, any city is going to have nice nightlife. For Plovdiv, I don't know. I've never been to Plovdiv, and the other biggest cities I've not really been to either. And Sofia, I've only been once. Are the chaotic energy that I thrive on? Exactly that.
wanted a daughter, especially. Like obviously in fairy tale land, if I got pregnant and had a son, like I would totally love him, like regardless. But like I just had this dream that I had a little mini me walking around. And yes, that can seem narcissistic. I really don't care. But I think it's a pretty common thing for parents to be like, yeah, I would love a son, or yeah, I would love a daughter. And for me, it was I would love a daughter. Like I just wanted that so bad. Like I had her name picked out and everything. And I'm not gonna get to experience that. And that's something that's been very hard for me to process.
I mean, technically, if she wants children, she could adopt, I suppose. It probably will be a bit harder for her. I think. I assume I could be wrong on this, but I assume it's probably harder for queer couples to adopt than it is for straight couples. But she's not even a couple; she's on her own right now. I think you probably need to be in a relationship. That will probably make it easier as well. But regardless, I don't think she's in a position to be taking care of a child yet. But then for some people, I know people that got pregnant at a young age and they were messy and then they had a kid and sorted their life out. But Amber is maybe she could, maybe she couldn't. But a child is a lot of work, and it's like if you can't even like store your medication properly and like stick to a diet for a serious amount of time, like long enough, or continue to make health lifestyle changes that are necessary. It's yeah, it's probably unlikely that she's going to be a good candidate for adoption, isn't it? But yeah. Hmm. It's interesting. I don't think it is that she would want to be a parent. She probably wants to give the love that she never had, I would imagine. So I don't think it is that weird. But I think she's not done healing herself as a person to be able to take on a responsibility as great as a child, because that's serious, you know.
And mourn because it's something that was really important to me. Did Valentine troll you? No. This is one of the ones that was a very popular question. A lot of people thinking that Valentine trolled
Mm.
me. She was actually a hater. She was this or that. No, that is not true. 1000% genuine in what.
And Nico, that's possible. People are more believers spiritual. Yes, rather than religious. Yes, correct. If I said religious, perhaps I said that incorrectly. But what you were saying, this terminology, I believe that applies more. So if I said religious before, which I think I did, I probably meant that believer spiritual. I didn't. I was perhaps incorrect in my understanding of the terminologies. But yeah, I would say a lot of people are definitely believers in spiritual. That's for sure. Uh, but yeah.
what we had. But again, that was just like a part of the life she was living, whereas she was also living this whole separate life. It's a lot and it's confusing, and I understand.
Did she have like a whole ass like wife and children or a husband or something like that? I wonder if Amber ever sent money to this person or gave her things, which I know that it's part of her love language. But yeah, I wonder if she gifted her things. I hope she didn't. I hope she didn't. But I guess there probably was some exchanges involved, because if this person was living such a different life, unless there was a benefit in it besides, I don't know, some phone sex, which by the sounds of the only thing they had. If there was no physical contact and no meeting up, there must have been something else involved for it to last this long. So I assume she probably was gifted things, and probably is what she did, which if that's the case, if that's the case, I kind of feel sorry for Amber, because it sounds like she kind of got played and manipulated, if that's the case, which is never nice for nobody, you know. But then also that's an opportunity for her to start learning to become better at vetting people, because she just has unfortunately a bit of a tendency to get with people that seem to kind of like use her because of her finances. And I understand that's like one of the few things that she's able to provide. But if you want somebody to like you for you, as opposed to for what you have or what you look like, etc., then you need to not give those things away so quickly. So yeah.
Stand that. But even though you guys don't know who Valentine is, I just feel like
Huh.
me as a person, morally, I can't envision myself like sharing this person's like story to you guys. I just can't. Like, as much as she hurt me and we didn't work out this and that, like I still do care about her. Do you think you will ever tell us what happened with you and Feline? No. Like, that is like a closed door that is done. The key has been thrown in the freaking ocean with that necklace from Titanic. Are you still friends with Eric and Ricky? I am.
Hello,
The
hello.
same person also asked, do you still talk to Alexis? Yes, she is like one of my greatest friends. What did you last journal about? So the last thing I journaled about is the girl that I'm talking to. What do you think about?
This is insane, isn't it? Like the thing is though, like I'm sure she is. Like, aren't most people always talking to somebody, right? Like that's kind of how it is these days, right? Isn't everybody always in some fucking talking stage to a degree, right? I don't know. It's just how I think this is how it is, especially if you're like a social media person. It's just kind of how it happens, right? Aren't we always going through talking stages when you're single? It's just like how much thought you want to give that talking stage. It's yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We should sort of joke away. Is her life interesting to people? To some people, yeah. I think the thing is though, it's the Mashenka. We're so invested at this point. Like I've been watching Amber for like 5, 6 years now. So I'm kind of invested, and like even though I know she's done not some she's words English, she's done some not so great things. I kind of still kind of like Amber, and I still want her to succeed, and I'm kind of here for the redemption arc. So I'm just invested from that perspective. It's like a Truman Show. You know what I mean? Like it's like we've been watching it for so long now. We kind of want to see how it goes. I'm tired of the talking stage. Yeah, some talking stages are nice though. Like it's nice when you talk to somebody and you can have like it's not just a talking stage for the sake of just having conversation, but you can actually talk about interesting things. I think that's very rare to happen in my experience. Like people talk, but it's just like I don't know. Sometimes it's just passing the time. Whereas like with some people, you're like you actually have a nice conversation, and it's like, oh, this potentially could be different. But I don't know. I've learned my lessons. I'm not gonna. I'm personally not gonna talk about it too much on the YouTubes, because yeah, there's no point, is there? Unless something is serious and there's a commitment there. Yeah, and then still, I don't know. I'll probably keep it off the internet.
What is going on with Jojo Siwa? I mean, what is really going on? Like, what does that even mean? Like, she just turned
Yeah, this
21.
is true. I forgot
She's
about that.
young. You know, her full brain hasn't even formed.
Yeah, I mean that is wrong. I forgot about that. I kind of forget about some of the things that have happened, but yes, this is true. This was not cool at all, not even remotely.
Yet. Like, I'm pretty sure when we were all 21, like we all made some dumb decisions and acted a fool. She happens to just be doing it online, and she's not doing anything to like really hurt herself or others. She's just young and being silly and being weird and trying to get attention. And I see nothing wrong with it personally. If you lied to protect someone you care about, why would anyone be upset about that? Because I would do the same. Good question. I think people get upset about things that they don't understand. They judge things that they don't understand. If anyone was in the situation or few situations that I've been in where I've had to like cover up for someone because I care about them or tell a little lie because I care about them, like I feel like anyone would do that, or at least I hope they would, just out of respect for the person that they care about. When did you get lipedema and lymphedema? So the symptoms of my lipedema, I've actually had my whole life. Like I literally have a picture
I wonder if she's gonna undergo the whole lipedema surgery arc storyline that Glitter Laces is going through.
of me wearing like these really short pants when I was like 11, and you could tell like my legs are just like bigger than the average. So I've always had that. But my lymphedema started in like, I would say like 2018, 2019. How do you handle being alone? Honestly, I don't know. Like it was such a scary thing to like adjust to. But then once I adjusted, I low-key fell in love. Like I love living on my own and I've gotten to experience it. It's like a whole different level of like independency. Yes, I don't drive. I know a lot of people like to throw that in there, but there is something about being home alone day in, day out, doing things for you and not having anyone else like here to help or whatever. Like it has made me realize that like, yes,
It's interesting that I do agree that she seems to have grown a lot as a person living on her own. And like, whenever we see pictures of her apartment and stuff like that, it's always clean, it's always tidy. She's nowhere near as messy as like Chantal, for example. But it's interesting that she still always feels the need to like have somebody to talk to. So it's kind of like she's kind of on her way to healing herself in that sense of not needing to be with somebody, but then at the same time she's um how do I say it? She's still has to have some sort of like comfort there of somebody else. So yeah, interesting. Alyssa Hessinger became a member. Alicia, I think, yes. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate it. I'd actually be friends with Tammy. Tammy is nice, actually. I hope she's doing well, to be fair. If Valentine's she was going to have her move in. Pick a line. I mean, pick a lane. Yes. Especially it was on the plan so soon after surgery. On the plane. I haven't seen her. I'll catch up with her probably in the live stream later in the week. I think that's the way to do glitter lasers, like with the shorts that she's doing. But yeah, she's going to regret the surgery. She's going to gain the weight back 100%. She's codependent. Yeah, for sure.
I was like forced into this for the lack of a better term. But like if I was never forced into it, I would have never like gotten to experience it and realize that like I love living alone. But I'm also in this like part of my life where if I do end up living with someone else, like I'm also okay with that because I got to experience this. And I am 33. I'm going to be 34 in December. I'm getting older and my life is literally changing constantly. So knowing that I got to experience this, I loved it and I can do it. I can live by myself, like physically, mentally.
I think she's just been offline, and I hope it's because she's in recovery and doing well. Because I always I do I want the best for everybody. Like people can have done shitty things, and that doesn't mean I still want them to like be happier and healthier. And like she hasn't, by the way, Tammy hasn't ever. She's just like just an unfortunate situation of like being severely eating disordered. She's nowhere near as an issue as like what Amber or like Chantal is. But I do think that, for example, with some people like Amber and Chantal, like their upbringing and their comfort with food and the fact that they're always been so overweight, I think some of that plays into who they are as people. Because I think when you're always in pain and you feel miserable and you eat bad food, like, and obviously, like, how do I say it? I think it's kind of like if I think back on, for example, if I'm in a prep, and it's not the same, but when I'm in a prep, I notice when I'm in prep versus when I'm out of prep, how different I am in terms of my energy. And it doesn't mean like my morals or values or something like that change so much, but I'm just like I'm just a shittier person to be around because I'm hungry and tired all the time. Now, and I'm not. That's not me trying to excuse things they've said or done. I'm not. I just wonder if some certain things in terms of personality development is because of how they've just always been so uncomfortable in their bodies and because of their upbringing, if that makes sense. I hope you understand. I'm not trying to excuse anybody's behavior at all. I'm just putting it into perspective of like me going into preparation for like 15 weeks, and I can see how I deteriorate in terms of just being. I just become miserable to like be around, frankly. after a while, and I don't recognize it, but I even recognize it now. Like my energy levels are so much different, and I seem so hype all the time, and it's only because I'm just not tired. I'm sleeping, I'm well rested, I'm not stressing over looking a certain way because of a competition, and I don't mind it when I'm in the prep because it's part and parcel of it. But yeah, yeah, you need to take accountability. Of course, you need to take accountability. That's part of being an adult, right? You're responsible for your own actions at the end of the day. No, no. Let me rephrase that. You are like you can't help what's happened to you, but you are responsible for making sure that you're a functional adult. That's it. But yeah, hunger exacerbates anxiety massively. I don't know how long somebody's going for, but I deduct points for how long. Just to simply say hi to the supporters. Yeah, I agree. I think anybody that is on YouTube, it doesn't take long to write a quick update, you know. And this is the thing, like it doesn't matter what sort of relationship you have with anybody. I think just ignoring anybody is kind of rude, isn't it? I just think it's like, especially if you're like talking to somebody, at least you can just like it's courtesy. It's just courtesy, even if it's a friend or whatever. But yeah, anyway. Quality of life doesn't have an effect. I can see with myself. But still, to be civil and treat people decently, for sure. Like, and obviously, like for like Cuba rages, like things like that. Obviously, like people have certain viewpoints that are like either instilled because of people of your environment, and I don't think that that's necessarily to do with um because of the fact that you had a bad upbringing or you've got a bad relationship with food. But I also think just general behaviors towards other people and the way they perceive the world, I think that could be a lot better. Let's put it like that. Christina Andreeva has been a member for 35 months. Been a member for 3 years and 1 month short. That's amazing. I think you're probably like a proper OG member, to be honest. I think that's how long I've had memberships almost. I grew up with an obese parent and they were always angry, sweating, and in pain. I still remember having to pull my bosom on my mom's feet because she couldn't reach them. That's mental. That's crazy. Yeah, as a public figure, it's rude. People worry we're not entitled to her time, but it's 2 seconds to update. She did a post, a couple of general Instagram pics, and that's it. Done nothing for months. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think it's when you're when you have it also depends on what kind of channel you have. But if you have a channel where you're vlogging and you're sharing your life with people, and they get look, it's different if you're like a comment. If you're like say Turkey Tom, for example, like somebody like him, he doesn't have to update his channel because he just does documentary style videos, or like Jim Can't Swim, for example, because of the type of content. But if you're a vlogger or you're doing like a health journey, to then just disappear, and I think especially when you're somebody who is on the extreme end of having health problems, so say like you're diagnosed with some sort of illness that could potentially be terminal, or you are super morbidly obese, or you're on the other hand where you're like really severely starving. If you just disappear, it's natural for people to worry, you know, because like let's be real, the chances of something bad happening are greater than with a normal person. But yeah, this is why I would say it's kind of like it just takes 2 seconds to go like, hey guys, you know, I'm just dealing with stuff, or I'm working through things. Everything's okay. I'll be back when I can be back. But I don't know. Okay. This is how I've always been with my channels. I don't know. When you're mentally ill, people worry. Yeah. I was the young carer of my mom, but in a way, loving husband with both parents present, so I could call myself fortunate. That's good. I'm very happy. MMJ, thank you. Oh, thank you. Hello and welcome. I don't know what to thank you for.
All of it when I really thought that I wasn't going to be able to. I proved myself
Agree,
wrong.
yes.
I know that I can do it again. So if I do end up ever living with someone else, like I'm also okay with that and totally willing to let that happen. Have you gained weight recently? I have. Yes.
We're gonna get weigh in. What did I say? I said 475. But that was on the other video. I think she's still around the 475, 480. My guess. That's my scale eyes. Scale eyes in the chat. This has been a member emoji for forever.
Last question. I wish it was a grand finale, but
Yeah, she's not even going to tell us to wait. Ah, that's terrible.
this was the last question that I received because, like I said, I did them all in order. Are you left-handed? I am left-handed. Yes. So is my mom, actually. I just want to let everyone know, like, I am cut.
That's kind of unusual, though, isn't it, for women? I think. Isn't it aren't men more likely to be left-handed than women? I'm not too
up
sure.
on my videos completely, so I have nothing else like pre-filmed. So once this video is uploaded, I'm not really sure like when you guys will be getting another video from me, but it will be happening. I'm gonna try not to take too long of a break. I was just uploading every other day, vlogs every other day, and then life just kind of caught up
Good
to me.
morning.
Not gonna lie, I truly feel like I lived a whole lifetime in June. Like the month of June was just like so crazy intense for me, and I have ended some
Sorry.
eras and I'm beginning some new ones. Anyways, I'm just rambling. I am gonna end this video. I hope that you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Maybe I'm confusing it with what's it called? Being colorblind. That's possible. Anyway, guys. So thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna go because I wanna walk my dog soon, and I need to I need to start editing the vlog because I didn't do that because I updated the names in the beginning of this intro, and then trying to figure out my audio, which I now finally figured out, even though you saw the intro without music. But thank you so much for being here. So yeah, I didn't realize this was going to be a Q&A, but there we go. So, what kind of emoji shall we insert? A mm, uh, but you know what? Let's do because see they're kind of sleepy. Let's do a doggy. Oh, this side, a doggy and a sleep emoji. I don't know why she does this. She always lays like that. She never lays properly in her bed. She always just kind of like hey, lays half on the floor. Hey, Days. Oh, she's knocked out. Let's do a doggy and a bed emoji because I've got sleeping doggies. But oh, hold on. The big ears are awake. Oh, hold on. Hi. I'm talking about you. Oh, little tail flick. Hi. Yeah, you're still sleepy, girl. Huh? Look at this. She's just like looking at me. She's like, are we gonna? Am I gonna get like a walk? Are we gonna go outside? No, I think you're too sleepy still. We'll go soon. Yes, we'll go soon. Yes, I walked them anyway, like 12, 11:30 I walked them. It's 3 o'clock now, so they can, there's no time yet. It's too hot anyway at the moment. I'd like walk them around the buildings quickly because it's so hot for their little paws. So I walk them around the buildings in the shadow and in the grass because otherwise it's too hot. So yeah. Anyway, the Luna statue is back. That one. That's been there the whole time, though. This is my competition. I've had that there the whole time. Anyway, I'm gonna go now because I do want to do other things. So yeah, a bed and a dog emoji. If you've made it this far, put it. Make sure you like the live stream on the way out. It helps me tremendously. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Members, I'll probably do a live stream this week, but I don't know when. Probably on Thursday, I guess. Thursday or Wednesday, more likely than not. I have to see what my clients are doing. Maybe Thursday. Yes. Anyway, I'll let you all know, keep you all updated. And yeah, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.